Alrighty, everybody, welcome to Casual Sports Talk Podcast, March Madness Championship Edition. And now we got a gentleman right over here who knows it's a sad day to be a Buckeye for Buckeye Nation right now. Here's Chris.
Yeah, short and simple. It doesn't matter. The Buckeyes lost in the first round. I mean, I'm glad that the Wolverines won it, represent the Big Ten pretty well. Michigan did a heck of a job all season long, and with a 3-loss season throughout the entire regular season, postseason, hats off to the Wolverines. I love that they won. So, no hate for the blue.
I still hate in the blue in my heart, but
I have more hate for the Michigan Wolverines football team than I do the basketball team. I don't really have any disgust for the Wolverines men's basketball team. So it's more of football than basketball.
Yeah, that's indeed. And now we got a gentleman right over here who is happy that he gets a glow for the next 365 days a year because Michigan just won a national championship. Here's Douglas.
Oh, it's due, and they might go back to back. They're number one in the preseason rankings for next year already.
I saw Illinois was number one, but depends on what ranking.
It depends on the ranking. It depends on who comes back. 1,000 players entered the transfer portal today, but it was a glorious day. It was a glorious day, Stu.
It was a terrible day. I'm just saying. It was probably one of the worst days in my entire week.
Sir, in your entire week? Sir, would you rather watch the Michigan Wolverines basketball team win a championship or the men's or the Michigan Wolverines football team win a national title? Yeah, it's easy. I'd rather have the basketball team win a title than the football team.
Well, good news, gentlemen. The only team in the college football playoff era to win a title in both.
Oh.
And apparently the coach just got signed a big contract right now, apparently.
As he should. I mean, he looks like the best coach in the game.
Apparently he got a 20 this is from Shane Tuttle, that Dusty May has signed a 20-year contract with the Michigan Wolverines worth $590 million. He is becoming the highest paid basketball coach following the national championship run.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
A 20-year, 509. That sounds so fake.
Yeah, so is this AI stuff again that you're reading into?
I'll say, talk about adding to just add. There's no way. Who's going to pay $590 million?
That was true.
Oh, sorry. That's a fake news. Fake news. Sorry, I got trolled. It was a troll account. I got trolled by the trolls.
Like, if you're gonna read a news story, make sure there's multiple sources before you believe that things like that are true. Anyways,
$500 million for winning a basketball game,
and for 20 years.
Yeah, he'll be coaching until he's 70.
Yeah, right. 578. He's going to be coaching with the Michigan Wolverines just after this.
Maybe he'll win like 8 more titles then.
I mean, UNC got a new head coach, but it's nowhere near the contract that Stuart was mentioning it. But anyways, UNC is not in the Final Four. Should we talk about the Final Four, gentlemen?
Yes, we should talk about the Final Four, which I will say was kind of a disappointment. Final Four. It was like the UConn Illinois game was okay, but we'll start with that one since we'll probably do our eulogy on Illinois because they lost to UConn 71-62 right over here. I feel like the game was not as close when I kind of thought about it. They kind of came back in garbage time, but do you have any thoughts on this game, gentlemen?
It shows why Dan Hurley is one of the best coaches. I mean, UConn was solid, but making it all the way to the title game was pretty wild. I mean, to beat Duke like they did, then they dominated Illinois. Like, I don't know, man. I was more impressed with the job of Dan Hurley than anything out of that one.
Yeah, Dan Hurley's the man. He's probably, I want to say, the greatest coach of all time in NCAA men's basketball history, but he's up there. I sent the group text a text saying, man, UConn knows how to pass, unlike Duke. UConn really shut out the lights for Illinois. I don't want to say shut out the lights, but 9-point victory. It was all UConn pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, they pretty much were dominated right here. UConn shows that why this team has made it 3 of the last 4 years, just making it to the finals and winning 2 back-to-back. But I guess we'll start with Illinois. Illinois, first time in 21 years to make it to the Final Four, but unfortunately got eliminated in that Final Four. Do you have any eulogies and thoughts on them Illinois team, them fighting Illinois?
Yeah, real quick. I did not think Illinois was going to win this game. I mean, I'm not saying that sports are scripted, but there's no way it was going to be Big Ten versus Big Ten in the national championship game, meaning I did not see Illinois versus Michigan to duke it out. Yeah, I didn't really follow Illinois too much. They had a great season. I think they came in third or fourth in the Big Ten. Yeah. Any thoughts from you, Stu, or you, Doug?
I picked them to go to the Final Four. Like, I thought they were kind of underrated and like they could make a run like this. I mean, I honestly thought that they would actually beat UConn. Like, I thought like they were playing like a top 10 offense and defensive team the whole tournament. And like, I thought they could have, I don't know. I was kind of surprised. Like, UConn, I don't know if it was coaching, what it was, but like their defense was locked down because Illinois was on fire throughout the tournament until they played UConn.
Yeah. Like that game, it just kind of felt like, Illinois did not look like they were that Final Four team. But like, you know what, good for them. First time in 21 years they make it to the Final Four. You can't be upset if you're in Illinois. Now the question is, will they pull an Auburn and not make a tournament next year?
They'll be back. They'll be back.
What do you think, Douglas?
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I truly think that the Big Ten is about to go on a run. Like, I think the Big Ten has the resources for football and basketball. And like, I think they have, I mean, like Chris said, he saw they were number one in the preseason rankings for next year. So it'd be an absolute shocker to see them go from Final Four, possible preseason number one to no tournament.
Right.
Yeah, that would be kind of a shock right there.
And like, they might not make it to the Final Four. I mean, they easily could. But yeah, preseason ranking number one depends on the source you look at, or it's ESPN or CBS or whatever source you're looking at. But they'll definitely be in the big dance. They'll make it to March Madness, and they'll definitely make it. I'll say definitely. But I could see them making it to at least the Sweet 16 next year.
Yeah, I guess we'll see how it goes from there. But unfortunately, for the Fighting Illini, you unfortunately got brawled by a Husky. Yes. And next, we got to talk about another beatdown. My God, this was a bad game. Michigan beating down on Arizona 91-73. I will say this, they made Arizona did not look like they were a Final Four team. Like this Wolverines team curb stomping those Wildcats right there.
Yeah. I mean, I saw somewhere, and I might have already said this, but that Michigan had the hardest strength of schedule in the country, and they still went 37-3. Like, I felt way too confident going into this one that we would beat Arizona, but to see it was that bad was shocking.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
they were up by 30.
Yeah, 16-point lead at half, 48-32. I know, and this was the prime. I know the 6 o'clock game for the UConn Illinois game, and then this game was like the 8:50 game, so this is kind of like more prime time.
Yes.
Man, this game was a bloodbath.
Yeah, I always got to say thank you, Chainsmokers, for making this game longer because it was supposed to be 8:50 and then they did a concert.
That's right. That's right. They had like a little DJ set there at halftime, which was pretty cool.
Like, what?
Yes.
Like, I don't remember this. I don't remember this in March Madness, but
yeah,
it was pretty much a beatdown. This pretty much Michigan just dominated the first half and then just dominated the second half. It was not even a close game right over here.
I mean, they were up 10-1 before I could blink, it felt like, and then it really never got close. Like every time Arizona would do anything, like Michigan played one of the best games I've seen. I mean, they weren't missing. They did whatever they wanted. Like, people were talking about Arizona's interior, but, like, it really didn't matter. Like, Michigan was shooting ridiculous threes. Their defense was great. Like, it wasn't even as close as the score looks, and it was still an 18-point win.
Yeah, piggybacking off that, Doug, my friends and I were texting. We're like, man, and like Doug said, Arizona couldn't make anything. I mean, I know they made shots, but it just seemed like Arizona, every time Arizona would shoot a ball, it was going off the back of the rim or the front of the rim or sometimes an air ball, and Michigan was just clean sweeping them up on field goals. Michigan was making more than what Arizona was doing. And I mean, I know the numbers don't lie. Michigan 48% from the field goal, 37% Arizona from the court.
Well, Another super fun stat that I saw was Michigan held every single team they played in the tournament to their lowest field goal percentage of their entire season. So like that's how good their defense was. Like literally UConn shot like 31%, Alabama shot like 36%. Like they held every team under 40% from the field. And it was every single team's lowest, percentage on the entire season.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess we probably got to talk about the eulogy for the Wildcats. How do you feel about it? First time making it in 25 years, but really kind of fall short. Made this team kind of look like they'd be in the Final Four. Like this is a beatdown. What would you think of the Wildcats?
I mean, personally, I think it's got to be mixed emotions because a lot of people thought they were the team to beat, and like they were even favored, I think, going into this game. So I mean, anytime that you're favored and like kind of expect to win a natty and then get your asses kicked, it's not a fun feeling.
Yeah, and I even mentioned on last week's podcast that Duke was the number one overall seed, and that there were people saying that Arizona could have been the best team, even better than Duke. And yeah, here I guess the eulogy is like, okay, well, if Arizona's the best team and you lose by 18 points in the Final Four, the national semifinal, all right, well, Michigan curb stomped them. Sorry, Arizona.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was not. Yeah, and Arizona. Unfortunately for the Wildcats, you got mauled by a Wolverine right there. And it unfortunately on this one. And then we got to talk about that final game, the toughest game that I ever had to watch because it was a sad game for me. Douglas, you were probably enjoying this game. You're probably replaying this game over and over again.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to lie. It was kind of stressful there for like UConn just wouldn't go away. The one thing I will say, and this is going to sound kind of silly, but in a perfect poetic world, it would have been Duke in this game because like, it would have been nice to see Michigan take down Duke because one of the 3 losses was to Duke, which is kind of a bummer. I think every other team that they lost to, they ended up beating later in the seasons. Like they lost to Wisconsin, then I think they beat them. They lost to Purdue, and they had beaten them. So it's kind of a bummer that they didn't get a second shot at Duke. But hats off to UConn. But like, because they kept this game so close. Like Michigan didn't play well. Like Michigan played bad on offense. Like they were 0 for 10 to start on 3-pointers. Offense was not good, but their defense was so good that didn't matter.
Yeah, like honestly, the offense, I don't think they shoot a 3 until like the second half, a 3-pointer, point wise. It's like, but this was like a defense game. Honestly, I will say this, hats off to UConn because they put this Michigan team under 90 points. Like the whole tournament. It's crazy to think about it.
And I don't know if I texted you guys or my other group of friends, doesn't matter. And I was like, is you, because UConn, great defensive team. I was like, is UConn's defense going to be able to stop Michigan's offense? And UConn's defense did stop Michigan's offense, but then UConn's offense just wasn't there. And I mean, looking at it, they both made the same amount of field goals, 21, 3-pointers. UConn had 7 more 3-pointers, but then it came to the free throws. I mean, Michigan had, 25 successful free throws compared to UConn's 12. So 13 more free throws, and that seems like that was the decision maker right there.
Yeah, because I think UConn out-rebounded, like they did a lot of things fairly good. Like they did the exact thing that they needed to win. Unfortunately for them, Michigan actually hit like a crazy amount of their free throws.
Yeah, at the end, they definitely were doing like really well, and it was the defense versus defense game. It's a great basketball game. I will honestly say this. This was a great, fantastic basketball game. If you're a basketball fan, like this is what you want in a March Madness final tournament. You don't want blowouts. You don't want ugly games. You don't want to have where it was 2 years ago where just UConn just dominates. You want a grid out bloodbath where both teams are just fighting to win this.
Mm-hmm.
But
did either of you guys, any of your brackets that you guys fill out, did either of you guys have UConn versus Michigan going to the final?
No.
No, of course Cal did, so I came in second in our bracket because Cal for some reason picked UConn. If the Illinois would have won that, I would have won first place.
Yes.
Dang.
But I will say this, Douglas. I know it sucks for you to lose Duke, but I bet you Dusty May, when he's holding his national championship and getting glory, he's probably like, man, we should have beat Duke that game.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: nobody will really care. Just like as a, the only thing that could have slightly made the season, if you even could say that slightly better, would have been that opportunity. But like, that's just being absolutely picky. Like, this was one of the greatest seasons that I've seen, and like a lot of the articles and like videos that I've seen are like kind of saying that this is one of the best teams the last 15, 20 years.
Yeah, like honestly, this is pretty good. But I guess we'll start with the eulogy for UConn. It is kind of crazy that like the last 3 out of the 4 years they made it to the finals, and this is the first time they're the bridesmaids and not the bride. They did not win this tournament. They did come close over here to Michigan. Do you have any final thoughts on UConn not winning this national championship?
I definitely said it last week in last week's podcast. I kind of already know what I'm going to do for my brackets next year. Like I said, I only fill out 3 per year. UConn will be in the Final Four, if not the championship game. Because and like Doug mentioned, Dan Hurley, great coach, no matter who he has on his team. He knows how to coach defense. So I can expect UConn to be back. Eulogy wise, great defense, but the offense needs to be there to score more than 69 points next year if you're going to be in the finals.
Yeah, I mean, this definitely wasn't their most talented team, but like that's the thing with UConn is like for whatever reason they're just an unbelievable March Madness team.
We're back.
I think I don't remember where we were, but yeah, I mean the UConn. I mean they've been an absolutely unbelievable team this like since 2000. I think they've won 5 national titles or something ridiculous in the last 25 years. Like they just go on like random runs, and it's kind of crazy how good and consistent they've been. Like they're definitely. I mean, I think that they're more the gold standard this millennium over Duke. Even like they have more
Yes.
championships, and like they've been the team to beat.
Yeah, I agree with you, Douglas. Like when you think of basketball, Blue Dogs, you don't think of Duke. You don't think of North Carolina. You don't even think of Virginia. You think one team, and that's UConn. Like
I mean,
UConn is
when I think of college basketball, I'm thinking of Duke and North Carolina. But that's because like you think of Michael Jordan, you think of Christian Laettner. But this day and age, like you're saying, Stuart, now you got to think of UConn, and you don't think about the players, you think about the coach now, Dan Hurley.
and
Well, and that's the thing. 'Cause, I mean, it's easy. Like you just think college basketball, you think Duke, North Carolina, you think college football, you think Michigan, Ohio State. But I mean, like UConn's got to kind of be there, and they got to kind of be like, dude, why are we not like the literal first thought? Like all we do is win national titles here in women's and men's college basketball.
yeah,
So
they
it seems like UConn's really making their move in the college basketball scene because I just read something earlier today that they're going to be where they play. It's called I think it's the XCEL Center, XCEL, and it's in Hartford, Connecticut, where University of Connecticut is. They're like going to renovate it for like a $50 million renovation. So yeah, they're definitely putting money into their basketball program, and I mean, not that renovations really are showing that their basketball program's gonna be good, but yeah, UConn's gonna be a team like you said, Doug. We keep thinking about the Duke, the North Carolina teams, but now we really got to be thinking about UConn being, I guess a big name in college basketball.
I mean, they've always been a power. They've always been a power like house. You can't get mad
Well,
at this year. I mean, I will say
But I feel honored that this is the first time they've lost in the title game. I think they were 6-0 going into this one, win championship games.
like
Yeah,
that's
either they're 5-1 or 5-0, and then Michigan was 1-6 coming into championships games. Now they're 2-6, and like Loki, like I'm not a biased fan, even though I love Cleveland sports. I love Ohio State. If Michigan would have lost this game, they would have been the all-time losing team to come in like second place or lose national championships in college basketball history. So I guess it's good that Michigan won this game.
Who's the biggest loser right now?
Duke.
Like who has the most finals L's? You said Michigan would have became the losingest. Who's the losingest now?
Oh, let me Google it real quick. You guys can.
Yeah, who is the most? Mirror. All.
I feel like it's gonna be like North Carolina or Duke because I feel like they get there so much.
Losingest finals.
Because
the fact that Michigan's lost 6 of them is pretty nuts.
So it is like you said, Doug. North Carolina holds the record for the most championship game losses with 7 after their 2022 defeat. So that's North Carolina. Maybe that's why
we kind of figured. They're like every 3
always
years.
making the championship games, but they're always losing.
And it don't even matter this year because they didn't even make it in the first round. It's like,
well, I think it's hilarious that both North Carolina and Duke lost 19-point leads.
And then
exactly 19-point losses. Exactly.
Well, yeah, they were both up by 19 and then still lost in the tournament.
And it's so funny because the Duke fans were talking some mad shit about when North Carolina lost, and then look what they did against UConn.
That will go down as probably one of the greatest games of all time. Like that was, like we were at Kalahari and like they at the wave pool they have this giant TV, and the place just erupted when they hit that 3-pointer. Like it was the loudest. Like it like almost blew the roof off of that place. People were so shocked. Like that was one of the coolest games I've ever seen.
Yeah, but
Stuart and I talked about that last week. That was something else by Duke. 10 seconds, exactly 10 seconds left. And the rule in college basketball is you have 10 seconds to make it over half court. But yeah, it's all right. Things happen.
It is unfortunately a little bit disappointing, but unfortunately for the UConn Huskies, they just got mauled by a Wolverine.
Yeah, it seemed like Michigan was going to pull away, and then UConn just every time Michigan started, like they got up by like I think 13 or 14 there late. And, okay, cool, we're going to kind of cruise to victory, and then all of a sudden UConn got it all the way back down to 4 after that crazy 3, a bad turnover late by Michigan, and then I think we missed 2 free throws, and it was like, oh no. And then thankfully our star freshman out of I think West Bloomfield hit a crazy 3 there to kind of gain control.
Yeah, like I said, there could be a world where UConn wins this game. Like you're the Duke, and it's like no. I've seen this story before, Douglas. I was watching this bar with my friends. I'm like, I remember this story before.
That's the thing. Like,
I think in a parallel universe, if it was not Michigan against UConn, if it was UConn versus any other team, even if it was UConn versus Arizona, I think UConn wins the national championship. But I just think Michigan. Too overpowered. I know UConn's defense really showed up this game, but their offense did not. But yeah, Michigan, too overpowering of a team. And like I said, if it was any other team besides Michigan, I think UConn would have won the national championship game. But
because I was doing the math, and I think this season Michigan lost 3 games, obviously, but I think they only lost by like a total of like 14 points. Like. That's absolute insanity. And if that's true, they had the hardest schedule to only lose 3 games by a total of 14 points out of 40 is pretty freaking impressive. Like, I truly think that, I don't know, Arizona's season was amazing, though. They only had that one weird week where they lost back-to-back games, and that was it the entire season until this Final Four game.
Yeah, but I guess we got to talk about also the champions right now. The team that did dominate this March Madness. The team that breaks my soul and my heart right now. Because why?
Man, sir, you really do not like Michigan. It's crazy.
Yeah. I would say for somebody that's lived in the Metro Ann Arbor area for 10 plus years now.
Yes, come on, man. I visited Ann Arbor. I went to Ohio State. Even I have very little hate towards the Michigan men's basketball team.
Okay, to be fair, I don't hate Michigan as much, but I do hate the Philadelphia Eagles, so that's still my team.
Well, we're not going to talk about that. We'll save that for a later podcast.
But
But in like all seriousness, like if I was to rank this team as a very biased fan, I mean, I think they're probably a top 10 team of all time in college basketball. Like I think if you put that team up against a lot of other teams, like their absolute athleticism, elite defense, elite offense, like that is one of the more special teams that you'll see.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny. Sorry.
I'll go. Yeah, it's amazing. You got Elliot Cadeau, the guard, and his connection with a day. What's the center's name? A day Mara. Their connection, their passing abilities, it was on par, and it was amazing. And like you said, Doug, they might be the top 10 basketball team of all time. I don't know if they'd be good as the Fab Five. Obviously, we know the Fab Five didn't win the championship game, but hey, redemption right here, Michigan winning it. Yeah,
I'm praying that Mara comes back for some reason. Like he's a late first round pick, but like I told a lot of our Michigan State friends going into it, I was like, Mara is the reason that we won the championship, and I think he put up 26 against Arizona. Like he has 7'3", like a 7'7" wingspan, can pass like a guard. Like the dude was absolutely unbelievable. I thought he should have won the Final Four, but like Cadeau was also amazing. Like I thought he was the MVP personally.
But it's also funny, Douglas, because I remember in the podcast when we talked about last week, and I said it when they made the Final Four, and I was like, you know what? This team is a lot better than 2018 Michigan.
Oh, I mean, 2018 Michigan had no business being in the title game. Like they just had one of those weird runs where they played a bunch of like 7 seeds.
Yeah,
Jake still gets mad talking about that.
It more like everybody collapsed and you had like one tough opponent in the finals. I felt like.
I mean, and that's why Michigan's also 1-6 or going into this all time in finals is like some of the times they made the finals. You're like, wow, how did we make the finals? Then you look at the run, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was a lucky bracket.
Yeah, this one, I feel like that this one was a much more decisive win, pretty much decisive victory. Only tough one was honestly UConn, and that was it. Everywhere else was
going into it, like I always pick Michigan to win the title, but this was the first year that I'm like, I think we're actually going to win the title. Usually I like pick them and like, yeah, dude, we're going to do it. This is our year. But like this was the first year I'm like, I'd be more surprised than not if we don't win it.
Yeah, I'm surprised, Doug, that we didn't get more shit talking or positive vibes out of you in our group chat about like, oh, Michigan's gonna do it this year. Like Michigan, yeah, this team was complete domination. And like on last week's podcast, Stuart picked Stuart picked Arizona over Michigan, and then I kind of persuaded him. I was like, Michigan's pretty much unstoppable. They scored 101 points, 95, then 90, then 91, or not 91 because that game didn't happen yet. Last week's podcast, I'm like, Michigan, this offense is just completely unstoppable, and I kind of persuaded Stuart to pick Michigan over Arizona. But then Stuart and I both unanimously picked UConn over Michigan. That was an interesting decision by us.
Well, I mean, I'm an unfortunate believer in like I try not to say anything until the deal is done because I don't like to curse. And like Stu will sit there and talk shit on a game that hasn't happened, and like it always ends up being embarrassing.
Yeah, like the Cowboys winning the Super Bowl.
How dare you all? We got to log in. I gotta talk shit.
I am more of a let's actually let the Wolverines win the title and then talk. Like Reese was trying to talk shit yesterday, and then I could just laugh at him because I'm like, well, we won it all, so like you can. Eat whatever because like
you can basically say go back to your VHS tapes to watch your Michigan.
He started calling Michigan the mercenaries and saying they didn't even know the fight song because they're all transfers. Which whatever they can say whatever they want, but
hey,
this is the first national. I mean, I know transfers, NIL. It's becoming more popular this day and age. But how about that first time all 5 starters have been transfers for a national championship team. I mean, you got Yaxel out of UAB, you got Ademar out of UCLA, Elliot Cadeau out of North Carolina, Morris Johnson, Illinois, and then Burnett out of Texas Tech and Alabama. So pretty impressive what the head coach of Michigan is doing.
Well, I mean, it is, and then like it was fun to talk smack on Michigan State because they make it sound like it's easy, but there were teams that spent more money on their rosters. They just didn't quite they didn't quite have the cohesiveness of their team.
But I figured we showed this great clip And great clip. I mean, terrible clip right over here for me. But you will love
It
this,
looks
Douglas.
beautiful, Stu. I don't know what you're
Yes,
talking
sir.
about.
I enjoy it right now. I mean, anytime a team, hoists a trophy, well, besides college football, especially if it's Michigan, it looks beautiful so far. Let's roll it.
Is this the first time tonight that you've been able to just breathe normally?
Actually, Ernie, it still doesn't feel real. Feels like we have another game to prepare for.
Everybody talks about how you guys light it up offensively, 94 a night, beating people by 22. Sometimes lost in that whole equation is the way you guys defend. How would you describe it tonight?
These guys have done it all year. When one side of the ball was letting us down, the other side picked it up. And our togetherness defensively ultimately got us over the hump.
I know you're a guy who appreciates a good story, and I'm not trying to get sappy here at all, but you were born in Indiana. 25 years ago, you're begging for somebody to give you a chance to coach in this league and in this game. And here you stand on this stage, man. How does that feel?
Ernie, even before that, I remember my mom bringing me to the Yes Clinics when the Final Four was here, and all the college coaches would be working stations. And you think of all the people that have poured into all of us to get us here, just very grateful. And this team continued to sacrifice just like they did all year.
Congratulations, Dusty. National championship.
Well, and I mean, I think the biggest thing that I heard too is a lot of people are calling him the Kurt Signetti of college basketball, which feels super accurate, man. I mean, like his attention to detail, the coaching, like Michigan was so unbelievably prepared for so many of the opponents. Like Dusty May was out there scouting the opponents in the first round of the Final Four. Like I feel like he's just an absolute nerd for the tape and understands the concepts at such a deep level that, I feel like he can sustain some success here. I mean, he took FAU to a Final Four 2 years ago, wins a national title in year 2 at Michigan. And I mean, during the first Final Four game, we got a 5-star guard to commit to. So it's like, like it feels like this is hopefully the building of something really special too, not just a one and done.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of impressive, like what Dusty May has done. Like, look what they did 2 years ago. They didn't even make the tournament. They were terrible. And I know you love Juwan Howard in the Fab Five, but he wasn't that great of a coach, to be fair. And look what Dusty May has done in 2 years.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing, though. I feel like it's easy to talk about that, but then you look at like 3 years ago and they were like a number 1 seed too, and like Juwan. So it's like, because I fully get, like, they definitely had an amazing turnaround, but this isn't like Indiana where it's like they were the worst team in the Big Ten for 50 years straight. It's like this was still a team that like was a number 1 seed and has made 5 Sweet 16s in the last like 7 years. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if Dusty can keep it going, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the biggest question. What are your guys' thoughts? Can Michigan do it again?
I mean, I don't think that they'll ever be this dominant again per se, but like I wouldn't be shocked to see some more nice runs, another couple Final Fours. But like I think college basketball is one of the hardest games to win a championship in, which is why Dan Hurley and UConn have been so amazing. We go back to back because it's like to be the last one standing out of 68 teams in a single elimination tournament is freaking unbelievable. And so like I don't know. I mean, I definitely don't see Michigan like going back to back to back or anything ridiculous.
No, I mean, it's gonna be hard because, like I said, basketball is very tough, and also the NIL money, where it's just like, okay, if I would be like, I'm gonna be a backbencher on this team, but if I can be a starter on this team, I mean, it's a very hot thing. And plus, I will say this: you got to give credit to the Big Ten. When I had in football, when Lane Kiffin was talking about different leagues, and it turns out that the Big Ten is in different leagues. And then you had the ACC talk some mad shit, and some of the coaches talk about we got the money.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if the Big Ten does what they just did in football, where it's like multiple different teams now go on and win the championship. Like now that they've seen that a Big Ten team can win it, I wouldn't be shocked to see an Illinois go out and win it next year, or an Indiana or a Purdue, or it's like the UCLA woman just
teams that Doug is rattling off. There's nothing about Ohio State, and I completely agree with you, Doug, because
I mean, you guys might win in the football next year.
Ohio State's not putting their effort in to their basketball program. I know they made the big dance for the first time in 5 years, but yeah, we're looking at teams like Nebraska, who made it to the Sweet 16, who won their first March Madness, game in school history this year. Wisconsin's always, getting to the Sweet 16 or the second round. Michigan, obviously. Illinois, always being dominant as well. So yeah, Big Ten is definitely making leaps and heaps. And
I also left Michigan State off of there, but I left Michigan State off there on purpose, though. But because they actually
sorry, yeah, you're right. Don't grab about
Michigan State has a chance, but I'm not going to mention them.
Yeah, Stuart and I, we talked about Michigan State, how Izzo is always going to make it past the round of 32 and more than likely in the Sweet 16. But and like we saw it on that Twitter clip right there that Stuart so graciously shared with us. First championship for the Big Ten since 2000, which was Michigan State. But yeah, I don't see Michigan State winning anytime soon.
Well, I mean, I think too, I think the Big Ten is just going to have so much money going around. But something else that's worth noting is I don't know how much power it has, but I think there's just an executive order signed for college players to only get one transfer. And if that's an actual thing that's put into effect, that's going to affect the NIL and these transfers quite a bit.
Yeah, that's going to be the interesting part. We're going to see how this goes with the transfer portals probably for next year for college football and college basketball. We're going to see how it goes right over there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not sustainable. I mean, these colleges are losing money on sports right now.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? The Tennessee player literally got left after they paid him this amount of money, and then he was like, "Oh, you still owe me this money." It's like, what?
Yeah. No, it's the Wild West right now, and it'll definitely get reined back in. And I feel like we overreact too. I heard somebody today saying that, the freshman classes can't win titles. You need, graduate transfers and stuff. But then all of a sudden next year, Duke will win it all with a bunch of freshmen. Everybody like, well, oh man, it's recruiting again. It's we always overreact. But Michigan's had a unique combination of things come together this year.
Yeah, I think it's a unique one in this one indeed. And look at this, and then look at this gentleman. Do you have any final thoughts on the March Madness bracket?
It's over. Michigan won, and hats off to the University of Michigan Wolverines.
Hopefully we can take our hats off to Wolverines Frozen 4 title here this weekend too, back-to-back weekends.
I believe it starts on Friday, the Frozen 4, and then I think the championship's on Sunday or Thursday, and then championship's on Saturday. But yeah, Frozen 4 for Michigan. They're in the semifinals.
We'll see who wins the Frozen 4 indeed. And look at that. That's it for this week's podcast. Next week, I'm just trying to think. And I was just thinking about recordings. Would you want to do a podcast for we got done with one bracket tournament. Are you ready to do a Stanley Cup playoff tournament?
NHL playoffs are getting tight in the Eastern Conference. So
I think nope, I can't do it. The Red Wings pissed me off too much.
I mean, I'm not going to do a bracket, but it's gonna be. Well, we could do a bracket, but yeah, I mean, next week's podcast, the playoffs won't be set yet, but it'll be very cool to talk about what's going on in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, the final game will be next Thursday, but like I said, we could do it on Friday if you want to do it, gentlemen.
Heck yeah. Let's go, Michigan.
Yeah, I know. It'll probably not be the Red Wings or my Blue Jackets because we both decided to, Eisman's trying to do the Eisman plan, and like Tree said it, apparently we love to hit E for elimination for the Blue Jackets.
Well, I mean, I genuinely don't know if I've ever seen a less clutch team in my lifetime in hockey than the Red Wings. The number of games that they have lost in the last 30 seconds or lost a point here, a point there. Today, the Blue Jackets scored with 16 seconds left. On the last game I watched, the Red Wings rallied down 4-1 in the third period, tie it up, and then give up the game-winning goal with a minute to go. What in the world? Then there's another game where same thing, hey, just get it to overtime, get us a point. Oh, we gave up a goal with 13 seconds left. Sweet.
Yeah, and I left bar for trivia. Trivia was over. I was like, okay, Red Wings got this game. They're up 3-2, and then I get home and Doug texts oh man, Red Wings are so unclutch. I look at the score. I'm like, oh, it's 3-3 going in overtime. I'm like, oh well, thanks for the update.
Well, and then Larkin has one of the worst shootout. He has a chance to win the game and just absolutely clinks it 3 feet wide. It felt like, and it's oh, there's our captain once again, absolutely doing nothing of noteworthiness in the
And
final
don't talk about
moments.
that tripping penalty that happened a couple last week. Remember?
No.
If you
I
remember
mean, the
that,
whole thing's stupid. And of course, instead of making a big move at the trade deadline and actually trying to go all in, we try to get cute and miss the playoffs again. And then, I don't know. Odds are we'll run it back with Yzerman and do the same crap again next year.
I know a lot of Red Wings fans are just hating on Yzerman right now, but hey, we gotta see how it goes. But anyway, gentlemen, do you have any final thoughts?
Final thoughts.
Go blue.
Big Blue did it well.
You know what I gotta say? I'll say it. Go blue. Jackets, that is.
Well, Stu, unfortunately for you, the Flyers and the Senators won today. So
Yeah.
Hey,
There's only 4 games left in the season for the NHL, so
I will at least
it's
be
gonna be a tight
happy
one.
and gloating that one, we did beat the Red Wings, and number two, the Panthers are not going to win another Stanley Cup. Just saying.
yeah, probably fair.
But anyway, that is it for this week. Next week, we'll try to do a weekend podcast. Like I said, I'll try to upload it this weekend. We'll see how it goes to the Stanley Cup Finals. We'll talk about the 16 teams right over here that are going to make the tournament. We'll see how it goes. We'll see who's going to win, and we'll see how it goes. So as always, gentlemen, I'm going to catch you later, Mr. Gator. So as always, take care. Bye-bye.